Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy Jack and David here, bringing you that Twitter Reacts. It's that 2-0 win that we're going to be speaking about, sort of recapping. And it is a great opportunity, everybody, for you to have your say on the game, for you to kind of get your thoughts there. If you felt like you need to get maybe some thoughts that perhaps weren't really addressed in the watch longs or anything like that, it's a great opportunity to do so. We do so through the YouTube community section. I just put a post out there last night. And then also Dave put his own Twitter sort of comment as well, which you can respond to down in the description down below. You can follow us on Twitter. Great place to do so, especially if you like a bit of a Nunez hatred, especially what I've been doing recently, but also for some Tottenham news as well. And also, it's a great way to stay informed on any sort of stuff that's coming out from the channel. But Dave, before we kind of greet the Harris Army, how are you? I mean, big day of football, I must say. The downfall of Barcelona was absolute joy to me. Seeing Liverpool somehow scratch through. I kind of wish it ended up being a draw after all of those misses from Nunez. That would have been absolutely glorious. The likes of the scum, I mean, they somehow got away with one. Ted Lasso, I thought, absolutely spanked Lego Man, but somehow, they didn't go to finishing school that day, Leeds, I guess. And also the VAR, we all know we're on the scum side. And then I think I saw that as well. Newcastle and Man United, an interesting 0-0 draw. But Dave, what have you been up to today?
I've just been like you, Jack, chilling out, watching a day of football. I mean, United drawn, that was good. Just keep them down there. That was nice. Absolutely buzzing that Liverpool bet City, even though I hate Liverpool. I'm delighted to see City lose. Just keeps us level points with them now, which is absolutely brilliant. Look, people can't say that my theory about the Premier League trying to keep Arsenal in a title race is not true. Week by week, it seems to be gathering momentum, Jack. Again, at the end, scandalous decision in my opinion. Again, Leeds had more than enough chances, didn't take them, but Arsenal are not as good as they think they are, and VAR are there to help them out, and that's one. Look, my conspiracy is just becoming right by the week. But yeah, great day of football. I have to say, that Liverpool and City game was a throwback. I mean, some of the challenges that were allowed to go, I thought was absolutely
Well,
brilliant.
it's Anthony Taylor, Dave. I mean, why are you not surprised?
Yeah, look, I'm not surprised. There were some Stonewall free kicks that weren't given. Just to throw back a great day of Premier League action, I have to say. Better than yesterday's. I watched the rest of yesterday's games. Were absolutely dross. Our game, we got the 3 points. That's all that matters. Wasn't a great game either, but the day was a superb day of football. But look, Jack, amongst it, we still sit there third, 4 points off top, and we know Arsenal aren't going to stay there.
No, definitely. And they're getting away with it at the time being, certainly being handed a lot of gifts by the VAR and the referees. We know that. T.O. Isaac, always first and always in the house. And honestly, somebody's going to have to beat him first to the finish line. The guy's always in there. Big up, T.O. Juan Daniel Sandoval, come on, you Spurs, one love. Pick yourself up, Juan. Sue Smith in the house. Bad news about Richie, could miss the World Cup. How jammy were Woolwich earlier? I mean,
Arsenal. Arsenal. That's what they're called.
Dave, Richie, apparently he's sustained some sort of injury that I guess is like some common injury he's had in the past. And like it could mean that he could be out for anywhere between like a month to 2 months or something. Yeah.
His calf. He done it at Everton before. So yeah, he could end up missing the World Cup. It's a shame. It is a real shame.
Yeah, it is, and especially I think we got some big games coming up where we could use him like as well. So it is definitely a big shame. Big up, Tom. Hopefully you're keeping well. Spencer, I bet that was absolute torture to listen to it on the radio, my man. Spencer Arnold, how the hell didn't Leeds score? They had about 20,000 chances in the second half. I mean, the VAR took every chance they had to finish the penalty. Even Bamford got a penalty and then still couldn't finish it. I mean, that guy also was a bit useless that game, I thought as well. I kind of felt bad for Jesse Marsh because it made sense to bring him on, but I thought Bamford was just useless and woeful once he came on as well. He just couldn't finish anything, and he just couldn't get the ball under control in a lot of situations either. And they just didn't go to finishing school. Looks like Jesse forgot to teach them how to finish. Spencer Luke says just handed them 4-point lead. Spurs 89. Man U were pants today. We should be confident going there Wednesday. Absolutely. We're certainly going to talk about that. Spencer Arnold says, Man U, here we come. If Kulu isn't back fully fit, we should play the 3-5-2. Certainly. I think he should be back fully fit by then, but I might even just go with the 3-5-2 just to begin with, if you ask me, Spencer. But maybe then you can bring on Kulusevski later.
Not if Kulu's fit, Jack.
You go for it.
Yeah, for me, I think the only way. Look, the 3-5-2 will be good. It'll stifle them and hopefully hit them on the counter. But they're also going to look to do the exact same to us. So it could end up being a boring game. But I just reckon if we have Kulu, that threat on the right-hand side with
Mm.
Kane and Son coming into form, I just think we'll absolutely rip United apart. And for me, I had a question yesterday's pre-match pump up, or pre-match build up, which I didn't actually get to, but was like, is Kulu crucial to getting 3 points away at Man United? And for me, I think he is absolutely crucial to getting 3 points.
He could be. I mean, we all know he's absolutely vital to the 3-4-3. I think we could get the job done against Man United with the 3-5-2. The other reason I'd maybe vouch for that 3-5-2 is we saw how much of a different player Doherty was in the 3-5-2 versus the 3-4-3. Granted, Richarlison wasn't really helping him out in possession, but he wasn't really doing much to save himself either. I thought Doherty in that 3-4-3. So it would maybe give me some. I don't know, but anybody plays better alongside Kulusevski, as we've seen. So perhaps Doherty might have a much better
Mm.
performance in the 3-4-3
I do
alongside
think
Kulusevski.
I do think Man United's midfield are actually there for the taking.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes, Ericsson, for Fred, McTominay, they're absolutely there for the taking. And I do believe Højbjerg and Bentancur are enough to be able to win that midfield battle. And I just would rather have that extra forward on the pitch to slice that United defence apart.
Andrew Michael Cooper releasing some news about Joe Lewis ceasing his shares in the club. Dave, you're nodding your head. What do
Yeah,
you know about this?
give me 1 second. I'll show you now. Or I'll tell you now. Just bear with me. So basically, there is a thing there from I don't know who found it or what it is, but it's from the company's house, Tottenham Hotspur Limited. You have been sent this email because you are following Tottenham Hotspur Limited. The following information is available from the company's filing history, 16th of October 2022, Form PSC 07, cessation of Joseph Charles Lewis as a person with significant control on the 5th of October 2022. And then I got sent something else. Just give me 1 second. Again, I'm not sure how true they are.
This is
I
thrilling.
maybe have a bit of a theory. I'm not sure the club is being sold because there's been nothing in the news, but I'll tell you what my thoughts are now in a second. And then something else today, notification of Brian Antoine Clinton as a person with significant control on the 5th of October 2022. And I believe, just let me make sure of this. I believe that guy Clinton is the lawyer of Joe Lewis. But my theory is because there's not been really any significant news around the club being sold or anything like that. My theory was that maybe we know Joe Lewis is getting on. Is he sick? Is he unwell? And does that mean that it's being transferred into maybe a family member or something like that?
Yeah.
And it's maybe what I'm
Perhaps his
thinking.
daughter, I think, is one of the ones that we know who's even a Spurs fan in particular. But yeah, I think we can confirm the news then, Andrew. It looks like Dave is reading out his email. You can see him fumbling over it looks like the
Basically, it's a
form
notice.
numbers and all that stuff that he's been
It's a
receiving.
notice of ceasing to be a notice of ceasing to be a person with significant control. So if anyone out there that is a lawyer or anything that is watching, maybe you might understand a bit more about it. But my thoughts are that maybe he's old, he's unwell, and maybe it's being transferred to a family member or something like that.
Mm,
But we'll
mm.
wait and see how that unfolds.
Yeah, I would say just wait for maybe a Tottenham walk with Sean, and maybe Bugsy can explain it to you guys, and Sean can just sit in the background kidding.
Again, not sure if it's true. Not sure if it's true, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, just wait for a good walk with Bugsy, and then Bugsy will explain it for you guys. But big up Art Green. Good to see you, my man. But looks like Dave can confirm it via the email there, everybody. Dean Cox is in the house. Good to see you. We are in this title race, lads. Absolutely love it, Dean. Good to see you. Derek Hutchinson's in the house as well. Spencer Arnold. Yeah, it looks like confirmed via the email, Spencer. Good to see you, my man. Noah Gender is in the house as well. Chris, good to see you. We also have Lazy 8 as well. Good to see you, Lazy 8. Really appreciate you tuning in, Chris and Lazy 8. Absolute legends. Stevie Frazier, big up Dave and Jack. Arsenal were absolute. I just don't even know anymore. It just feels like they're just trying to be handed the league. Like pretty much they'll just get any call they want, any decision they want, what position they want the ball for the free kick. It pretty much just goes however. It just any decision they want, they get. Big up, John N. Evening, guys. Hope you were all well. Looking forward to the show. If we play remaining games like the second half, we are going to win something this season. I love that energy, John. And to be fair, it showed that when we're playing maybe cup football, a 3-5-2 could certainly be a very effective. While maybe not be the prettiest, it doesn't always sort of create the most chances. I think it also neutralizes teams and can also maybe even bring the best out of someone like Sonny as well as Kane. And then you can maybe rest other players. So it's certainly a good formation to go to in that cup football. Big yourself up, John N. Good to see you, PJ. Good to see you, Moju Matzi. Love that name, Rob Belcher. Hopefully you're keeping well. Foggy Foam is in the house. Hopefully you're doing well, my man. John Bamford. Arsenal may be top, but they were shocking today. Leeds completely dominated them in the second half. That's the Arsenal we're going to see away from home in the future. They can't deal with 2 games a week. That's what it felt like. Even John, it actually caught the Lego man trying to cut the wiring and trying to cut the power at Ellen Road, because he's basically trying to get 1 game a week. He can't handle the pressure of having to play 2 to 3 games, every single week. And he's trying to cut basically the power at this stage at each stadium in order to get out of him. He's so used to playing at 1 game a week where he can set up his Legos, ahead of time, get all the light bulbs, situated just right. He's just not liking it. He doesn't get enough preparation. Lazy
Just an update. Paul O'Keefe is basically, someone put it up on Twitter, and Paul O'Keefe has basically gone into comment underneath, and he said it's nothing to do with any takeover.
Yeah, so maybe you might be right.
So I'll keep you updated as it unfolds, but we'll wait and see.
I think your theory might be right, Dave. I think that might have been a spot on theory. Lazy 8 says, right, Jack, I always forget that Sean is the financial guru and Bugsy handles the legal. Exactly, Lazy 8. I think, Sean is probably just going to take a back step on that walk tomorrow. Just let Bugsy do most of the talking. Big up Lazy 8. Mark McGevitt, good to see you. Tequila 316, big up the Flat Cap Army and Irish Armies. Glad City won. Dislike that. Arsenal have a gap now. It was disappointing to see them get that gap. I kind of wish it was a draw ultimately, Tequila. And to be fair, we almost had it all go our way today in the case that it felt like Leeds eventually were going to score. Like even from set pieces, they were dangerous. It just felt like eventually it was just going to be tapped home by somebody. But I guess they didn't go to finishing school, and I guess the referees were also trying their very best, Tequila, to keep it out of the net. Scott Hynum says, big up to all. Big yourself up, Scott. Hopefully you're keeping well. And big up Wisdom. Big up Darren Kilbane. Good performance by us yesterday. Great to see Basuma playing well. Hope Ricky not too long out. We have to now beat United on Wednesday. Ismaila Turner, I think United are going to win since we can win away again against a big team. Big yourself up, Ismaila, and big up Chris and Patty Harnett. I would imagine it has a lot to do with taxes. Sean might be able to confirm. Taxes, I think Sean can confirm. I don't think that's Bugsy's realm of expertise there, Patty. So certainly taxes, I think Sean definitely could probably explain for us. Big yourself up, Cola. Good to see you, Axe Shags. Hopefully all is well. I think Dave maybe share the Paul O'Keefe tweet, perhaps. I think
it wasn't a Paul O'Keefe tweet. He put it underneath another one. I can go and get it for you and tag you in it if you do want to share it. Or I even sent you that what I was sent. Even if you want to maybe.
Yeah, I'll try to maybe get it uploaded in just a second. But what I see is that maybe read it out one more time. David was sent an email. It's from Tottenham Hotspur Limited. It says, you have been sent this email because you are following the Tottenham Hotspur Limited. The following information is available from the company's filing history. And the description says cessation of Joseph Charles Lewis as a person with significant control on the 5th of October, 2022. So basically, I think all we can confirm is that it is no longer Joe Lewis probably taking any sort of active role in the club or even his investment in the club. You could say maybe he doesn't have any sort of active role or control over, I think at this moment. It's been given or perhaps just kind of, just given to someone else instead. And we'll see what that sort of means, if that really even means anything at all. But I would say probably just going to have to sit on it. But let's get to the Twitter. Let's get this, see what the Harris Army has to say on this one. Starting off with Chris's tweet, nice and early. Big yourself up, Chris. Best ever start to a Premiership season. Couldn't be happier to beat Frank 3 points more in the bag. It's shame some of our supporters still moaning. They need to get a grip. It just felt like a complete performance, Chris. And to be fair, like we were very nervous to see Everton get those sort of chances from the likes of Onana and Demarai Gray, believe me, like, I think they probably should have buried those. But now seeing how much Darwin Nunez is missing chances, saw the chances Joe Linton missed today, saw the chances Leeds missed today. It feels like everybody needs to go to finishing school. And all of a sudden, Spurs are teaching people how to finish. Felt like we needed to go to finishing school at some stage, Chris. Big yourself up, my man. Dermot with one saying, great performance. We are now in the third in the title race. Fair play to Doherty. He played well and should start on Wednesday. Harry Kane is class and will break Jimmy Greaves' record this season. We have a manager that can take us all the way. As for Højbjerg, he is the general in the team. Dave, I think we are going to see Doherty playing Wednesday, and a lot of people are very proud of Doherty's performance. And I must say, I think the best way to get maybe the best out of Doherty is to perhaps continue with that 3-5-2. I know we're bringing up a conversation from before, but in order to get the best out of Doherty, do you maybe consider that, or do you just risk it with the 3-4-3? Is it a risk with the 3-4-3?
Look, I think Emerson serves his last game suspension against United Wednesday night, if I'm correct. So Doherty will play. He's not just going to randomly throw Jed Spence in there.
No, he won't.
Look, Doherty played very well in the second half. And me personally, I don't think it is down to the 3-5-2, Jack. Look, I've seen this guy for Ireland a number of times. I've seen him live for Ireland. I've seen the space that the guys had to attack and stuff like that. It's just about him having the confidence or the willingness to do it. He had chances to do that in the 3-4-3. He just refused to do it in the first half. If you look at his body shape, every time the ball came into him, he was always already facing inside, which means it was always where he was going to go. He didn't even consider the possibility of getting down on the right-hand side. And obviously, like Sean was right yesterday, obviously Conte gave him an absolute bollocking at half-time. He come out in the second half. He started doing what we want to see from our right wing-back. And for me, that comes down to him getting a bollocking, him being told, look, start using that space. And he didn't want to do it in the first half. I don't think it's a matter of a certain system suiting him. I think it just comes down to him, the willingness of the player to do it, having the confidence to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
By the way, when Dermot's words there, I thought he said Tottenham are the turkey in the title race. I was like, I don't want to be the turkey, because turkeys always get stuffed at Christmas or Thanksgiving, so I don't want to be the turkey.
Dermot, I mean, he wants us to go for the treble, Dave. He wants us to go for a quadruple. I mean, at that stage, you probably just call it a turkey. It's that many trophies all in one. Big yourself up, Dermot. Dave, I think I'm sharing now the source that basically this is the email that a lot of people basically got. There it is for you, everybody. I mean, I've already read it a few times.
Sean's responded underneath. We'll have a look at his
response. Sean's responded.
But there's the email for everybody if they want to have a quick look at it. We'll leave it up there for one more second for you. We'll read it out again. Tottenham Hotspur Limited. You have been sent this email because you are following Tottenham Hotspur Limited. And basically, it's an email to say that it's a cease of basically control. And then what's Shawnee responding underneath?
It must be the lawyer, Brian Glinton, right?
Yeah, he's Joe Lewis's lawyer.
Yeah, and he's based in the Bahamas, which would make sense, actually, because that probably is where he's technically based.
Paul O'Keefe did say underneath it further down, he said it's nothing to do with a takeover, which is what I kind of thought, because you would have heard rumors or something this week about a takeover. Yes, we heard the Google deal, but I don't think Google are buying Tottenham Hotspur, if I'm being brutally honest. So for me, because we've had no real news or anything like that, or any sort of leaked sources of a takeover, I think either what Paddy said it's down to taxes, or what my theory is maybe that he's old, maybe he's unwell, and it's being handed over to someone else. But interesting, we'll see how it develops.
Yeah, definitely see how it develops. I'm just going to try to get back there to the original tweet there. Just give me a second. There we are, everybody. Go to Zoe's here. Pick up Zoe. There you are. Is it to do with the Google stuff? I don't think it has anything to do with the Google stuff, Zoe, at all. But here you are. Here's your tweet. I'm thrilled. Look different gravy in the second half, and a good performance to build on. Come on, you Spurs. I mean, we absolutely neutralized them, Zoe, in the second half. I'm pretty sure Everton just felt like they didn't even want to play anymore after a while. Didn't they have like 0 XG or something like that, Dave? Like 0.00000 XG. I mean, they could barely create anything. If they were given a paper, a pencil, they still wouldn't have created anything. It just felt like.
Literally, tell me a stat where a team was, without telling me a team was camped in their own half. Expected goals, 0.00. Unbelievable. unbelievable, pure domination. It's not right. If that was in a wrestling ring or in a UFC cage, it'd be called off. It's just you can't have that. It's actually embarrassing on Everton's behalf.
No, no. Big up Zoe. And I must say, I think that 3-5-2, especially the inclusion of Basuma, made us look like a different gravy. That's for sure. Big up Zoe. Mark New, good performance, good win. Basuma to boss the midfield. Zinedine Salzburg, our new captain. Kane closing in on the Greaves record. Jedi on the pitch. Expect more game time soon. Galactic goals incoming. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Harris Army. Come on, you Flat Cap Army. Big yourself up. Mark New, absolute legend. Want to see you on that fan show come tomorrow, Mark. Hopefully you can pop on. But Dave, I mean, he's kind of like Dark Sun G. He's got the nicknames down here. Basuma, Zinedine Zosberg, all the good things. Jedi. I mean, he's got it down here, Mark.
Yeah, it's all the good things. If I ever wanted to read a tweet after a game to make me happy and make me feel like things are going in the right direction, it's this tweet. If Mark wanted to go from 99% to 100%, all he's got to do is throw Gil Messi in there and we're on to something, Jack.
Love that. Scootley THFC says, first half we were slow with passing, but we started strong with the first 15 minutes. Then went off the boil. Second half, we were brave, asking questions. Basuma really helped to commit more men up top. Højbjerg and Bentancur playing week in, week out, but their energy is consistent. I mean, it was brilliant, Scutley, to be able to see Højbjerg and Bentancur assist each other. And the classy man that Højbjerg is, Dave. I mean, he pointed immediately to Bentancur and they ran to each other as well.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Beautiful.
Conte was asked a very good. It was a good question, actually. That your two midfielders are combining for a goal in late 80, what was it, 87, 88 minutes or something like that, or in late 8 minutes, 82, 83 minutes. After 72 hours after playing against Frankfurt in the Champions League, like, does that make you happy? It also comes down to show the fitness levels, the willingness to get forward, and I love Zinedine Salzburg's celebration. Calling the generals to salute.
Absolutely. Come on. Absolutely. Big up, Schooly. Great comment, my man. El Chiavone says, tonight was a revelation. The 3-5-2 is actually more attacking and not so defensive as people think. Sky Sports were absolutely raving about it. I mean, I'm actually surprised to hear that, and I'm certainly, I bet Philip is probably surprised to be hearing that, El. But the 3-5-2, it just, once we have Basuma really clicking, once we have Basuma playing more in that sort of mold that we know he can be, that patch of, form we know he can play in, then I think, we know the 3-5-2 can work. It's just Basuma hadn't exactly taken his chances when given to him, or he wasn't playing as convincingly when given the chances. And I think after that game against Brighton and now this game against Everton, I think he's really now taken those opportunities, I must say. And I must say, give my biggest congrats to Basuma as well. And I do hope that Conte saw that. And I know Conte saw that. I mean, let's be honest. He saw how much he changed the game, but he gave them the start as well against Brighton. Went for the 3-4-3 in this one. Made sense, I think, to begin with. I actually said the 3-4-3 would make sense to go up against Everton. Turned out not to work, especially with how Richie was playing. Brings on Basuma after how he played against Brighton. I think it's going smoothly.
I'd be skeptical still of the 3-5-2. Look, it is a formation that can work. You've got to remember it's against an Everton team that do not score goals, don't carry an attacking threat, barely have done all season. I mean, I expect to dominate in whatever formation. Like, we still more or less dominated the first half. We got caught with 2 breakaways, but we still more or less dominated the first half. We just didn't create anything. Second half, they got a rollicking. A lot of players picked up the performances. They ran more. The first half was very static. I'm still skeptical of how much of that was down to the 3-4-3. I think this season we're trying to make a big thing of this 3-5-2 and forgetting 3-4-3 worked perfectly for us last season. It is going to work this season. The players, like, usually after a European game midweek, the first half of most Premier League games that you go into play, you're usually a bit off the pace. It's just natural. You see it. It's been a common theme down the years whenever I've been watching the Premier League. So I'd still be skeptical of saying the 3-5-2 is the way forward. It's more attacking. We used it against Brighton for more or less full 90 minutes. We created absolutely fuck all. And they're a better team than Everton. They carry more of an attacking threat. So I wouldn't be getting too carried away on the 3-5-2 off just the back of Everton.
Thornton Spur, not best ever start. 61-61, stop our 60-61 side. Stop deleting our history. I think it has to do with the Premier League, like since the Premier League was officially established. However, enjoyed the game. First half, very absorbing in like a chess match, trying to work out the best formula. Richie injury changed it. Suddenly more fluid and controlled game in the end. Comfortable 3 points. It was kind of more of a chess match, this one, where last time out, it was kind of just, I mean, Everton lined themselves up kind of for the slaughter with how they set up that back line. Whereas this time out, Thornton, I mean, they just, the moment the whistle was blown, Dave, I mean, they just pretty much set up all 11 men behind the ball and just tried to see the game out and see if they could get those opportunities from those kind of counterattacks. And those counterattacks were sort of self-inflicted, if you ask me as well, Thornton. Like they were all just kind of awkward bounces of the ball from kind of just clearances from like Pickford or like one of their defenders. And it was just an awkward bounce, either Bentancur and then Pierre and Romero was the other case as well. That gave them the chance, but they really didn't create very much on their own. Actually, that wasn't self-inflicted. Thornton, I think the 60-61 thing has to do with I think the record breaking thing that Spurs did for the best ever start. I think it has to do with the Premier League.
Yeah, it's like 60 odd years ago.
Yeah. Big up Thornton. Leon Mallet. I was at the game today, and I thought the first half in a 3-4-3 wasn't very good, but once we changed to the 3-5-2, I felt we had complete control in the game and got a comfortable win in the end. I think you summarized it there perfectly, Leon. If anything, I think probably like to Sky Sports probably use that for their little tagline to summarize the game. Pick yourself up. Dawson, Yves Bissouma, that's all I got to say. I think he won the fans over. And Dave, maybe that's something I would ask you. Is that the sort of performance that wins fans over maybe from Bissouma? It kind of gives him a bit of confidence and knows that he is settling in. And there is now a performance that he can point to that he can say, you know what, I can make an impact on this team.
Look, I think with the signings we've made since Paratici's been here, I think a lot of these signings are coming in and automatically being fan favorites, or getting the fans getting behind them regardless, purely because of what's gone on the last few years, where we have had hardly any players to get behind. So, look, the performance, I'm not sure how much that performance makes him a fan favorite, because a lot of fans love the guy anyway. But what it does do, it definitely puts thoughts in Antonio Conte's head going forward, which is what he needs to do at Tottenham Hotspur. He needs to prove why he needs to play, and performance like that definitely helps his case at Tottenham.
Definitely, Dave. Well said. Brian Smith, Bissouma in a three-man midfield changed the game. Playing Son and Kane close together is also better. I think with the way Richie was playing, we found ourselves in a position where Richie wasn't really helping us much going forward. And so what you got to do is you just get the ball, like we said in the watch along, into our best players. And that was Son and Kane that game, especially Sonny in the first half. I think you just had to get him more involved. And if that meant taking Richie off the pitch, then that's what needed to be done. And ultimately it happened via an injury, which is tragic. But I'm glad that ultimately Conte saw that change. It's not like he just threw on Lucas or Brian Hill or something. Once Richie got hurt, he switched immediately to the 3-5-2 and gave Son and Kane that freedom.
Again, I think too much is being made of Kane and Son playing in it too. When you've got Kulu there, the ball comes into Kulu, he transfers it into Kane. Kane gets turned, Son's already on the run, and it's in behind. But with Richarlison, that ball doesn't go into Kane. And that automatically stops it, and that stops then Son being effective. And then when we're trying to get up the field, because it keeps breaking down the right-hand side like it did in the first half, then you're banking on everything coming from the left-hand side, which then is you're not getting the very best out of Sonny. Although he had the beating of his man every time the ball went into him yesterday, we know from experience the best of Sonny is Kane getting on the ball, and Sonny already, as soon as Kane's about to turn, running in behind and getting Kane to play him. So for me, look, I think the 3-4-3 just depends on Kulu. You need a third player in there that can just get on the ball and transition it into Kane.
I know what you're saying, Dave.
I think too much is being made of Kane and Son. They have to play it too. They don't. They can play it too, no doubt about it. We've seen that under Jose Mourinho, where basically all the goals were coming from them and they just work together. But for me, I just think the 3-4-3 works better, especially when Kulu's fit.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, Dave. And probably we're very quick to forget about the impact and the influence Kulusevski can have. Harry and the Canes, absolutely great name and handle, says that second half was great. Bissouma really looking good. Kane and Sonny really starting to ramp it up and starting to find that devastating form again. Doherty getting in good positions, and nice to see the right-hand side flowing a little better. Also, Salzburg and Bentancur, absolutely perfect. I mean, they were just gorgeous that day, Harry and the Canes. I must say, I think the right-hand side was dreadful in the first half. One of the worst performances I'd seen from the right-hand side in the first half. But then it just all of a sudden in the second half turned into one of the better performances I've seen from that right-hand side. So it really was just complete polar opposite performances from that side in particular. But I don't think we mentioned this, Dave, but one thing I really enjoyed about Sonny's performance was just how, I don't know, it's like we saw that Sonny touchback. We saw how, he's so good at beating past his man. Once he also has a bit of momentum, he was skinning some of those defenders for fun. It was really nice to see the likes of Sonny I don't know, maybe doing the things that we know Sonny can do, not only getting into good attacking positions, being ruthless, but also, I don't know, he was just skinning guys for fun, Dave. And I feel like his touch is actually all of a sudden like at its highest. Like he's all of a sudden you're dribbling past more players than I remember he can do. And I'm really enjoying kind of Sonny's kind of how would I say, like vein of form, or kind of return to form is maybe a better way to put it. And
No,
one
I
of the
mean,
ways I'm seeing it is just his touch alone. His touch alone has been sensational recently.
Jack, just former temporary class is permanent. I said it at the time, and it's coming to fruition now. And
No
I agree with you,
surprise.
Jack. It is nice to have that excitement back. Do you know when someone gets on the ball, you used to, oh, something's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Over the last few weeks, that's kind of been gone. But
Yeah.
now, yes, anytime you touch the ball, I felt like something's going to happen.
Exactly what I'm trying
And
to
it's
say.
good to
Thank
get
you.
that excitement back.
Thank you. Exactly what I was trying to say. Thank you, Dave. Big up streaks, and I love that one from Harry and the Kane. Definitely better second half, and three in the middle seems to freshen us up. If we can click into gear now after winning games for most of the season by digging in, then who knows where we'll be at the end of the season. Just get to the World Cup, just get to Leeds, keep picking up 3 points, especially if we pick up 3 points against United streaks. I think that'd be absolutely massive. If we get to the World Cup by, let's say, not really dropping any points, apart from maybe Liverpool or whatever it might be, then I think we'll be in a grand position, my man. And that's all we got to do is just keep the distance from us and those other teams. Big up H says 3-5-2 is a game changer. Hope to see it next game. And then WB Penfold, I thought we totally controlled the game. Yes, they had 2 chances, but that's it. Still plenty to come from us as well. And I agree with those chances, WB, mostly because I think they were self-inflicted by either Højbjerg and Romero in one case, and then the other one was the likes of Bentancur with those kind of just bouncing balls. And if anything, I don't really recall really much from real kind of open play that they've really created. I think you're absolutely right. WB, spot on, my man. Just want to say, everybody, if you do want to get your Twitter comments in, do follow us on Twitter. It is down in the description below. I'm going to move over to the community section, see what people had to say over there. And then I think we'll kind of end it off. Feel free to keep getting your comments in. Yeah, Dave. Yeah.
Just quickly, Jack, there was another tweet I retweeted. I'm not sure whether we can show it or not, so just have a look. It's about the Kane penalty. It's I retweeted someone else. I went through my timeline and was on there, but I actually know this guy from playing football, and I know his outland was the one that was over the Kildare County setup that I was involved in. I'm not sure whether we can show it or not, but like he was there saying, "Oh, how's this a penalty? Kane diving. This is absolutely ridiculous." And I'm like, "Look, Pickford jumped at him like he was a human missile. How can you not say that's not a penalty? You know, it's clear motion. He's there lying there like a dead fish, and all of a sudden he gets up, hands down beside his eye like he's being launched out of a canister straight into Harry Kane's legs. I mean, how's that not a penalty? Absolutely winds me up. Absolutely, it's just a joke. And the fact that Pickford he was there apologizing to everybody.
Yeah, he didn't even protest for it. Doesn't that already prove it? Like, if he didn't protest about it, Dave, I mean, he was sprinting halfway up the pitch for any given foul that the referee was doing.
Yeah.
So if he wasn't protesting for that, that certainly meant he knew it was a penalty. And I believe he was even apologizing to his Everton teammates.
Yeah. He was apologising to the Everton crowd because where he was in the first half, the away fans sit in the corner there. So he even put his hand up to them. You know, it was absolutely. I couldn't believe it when I seen it. I seen Arsenal fans trying to jump on it as well, and I'm like literally hands beside his side, jumping head first like he's been launched out of a canister. I mean, give me a break, please.
And like we said, I think even Harry Kane's missing a bit of his thigh. He tried to take a bit of a chunk out of his thigh as well. You know, Pickford did. And it's also funny, out of all people as well, Dave, out of all teams, Arsenal, Arsenal, out of all teams, to accuse us of it. I mean, it really is just kind of like, wow, look yourselves in the mirror, sort of situation. Everybody, keep getting your comments, and we'll bring them up. But it is kind of about the Twitter. It is about the community section for those who did get their say ahead of time. But we'll continue to put them up on screen. Feel free to throw in a super chat if you do want to skip the queue and support the channel. But we're going to go to the community section
And
here.
smash a like. Very important to smash that
Thank
like
you,
button.
Dave.
It's free. It's that thumbs up for anyone that doesn't know what the like button looks like, but it helps us out massively.
Absolutely, Dave. Absolutely. Oops, I think I'm gonna do it a different way. Just give me a second here.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm sitting there. I actually quote tweeted him, and I said the real talking point or the real outrage was actually Bentancur's yellow card in the first half. That's the real outrage. Winning the ball and then getting booked. Imagine that.
Life imitates chess. I felt we were a different animal when Richie came off for Basuma. I would like to see us do that more in certain games. Another massive 3 points. Well done, lads. It was disappointing to see a poor performance from Richie. I was kind of backing him before the game. Life imitates, but he just really just disappointed that game. I thought he actually had a decent performance against likes of Frankfurt at right wing, but he really, I think, undid a lot of that. And it's also really disappointing and tragic to see him get that injury as well. But Basuma recovered a lot of it. Big yourself up, my man. Hollywood Hotspur, best performance by the midfielder in a Spurs kit. Pretty sure he's referring to Basuma. I think might as well just read what I had to say. Everton camped very deep inside their first half. Before the game, I thought the 3-4-3 was the right choice to begin with, but Richarlison and pretty much the right-hand side in general was unimpressive in the first half. The switch to the 3-5-2 via the Basuma substitution absolutely neutralized Everton and took their wind out of their game. Another 3 points. Give me your thoughts. There you are, everybody. So
Thank God you signed that
if you
off
don't
as
even
Jack.
have Twitter. Sorry, Dave, yeah?
Thank God you signed that off as Jack, because I don't want people to think I want the 3-5-2. I want to stick with the 3-4-2. You signed off Jack. Jack, I just want to ask you a quick question before we go forward. It's just something I thought of there. Maybe it's interesting, maybe it's not. But anyone that was going to come on for Richarlison was automatically going to make us look better, because every time the ball went to him, he lost it. So are we making too much of Basuma's impact?
I don't think we are, because I think he rightfully deserves all the plaudits, Dave, because you look at some of the game-changing moments that he made in either the tackle or like the progressive, because he wasn't exactly pinging balls left and right, but what he was doing was winning the ball back, and then instead of just kind of recycling it backwards, he actually did try to pick people out and pick his moments to maybe make, a decisive pass, which I did enjoy, because I feel like in other games, Dave, I'll be honest, I did kind of think he was a bit sideways and kind of a bit backwards a lot, where this game, yeah, but at the same time, at least he can win a tackle, in comparison to wings. At least he can clean up the ball, and that does a lot. And we also saw, Dave, like how much ground that guy can cover, in the middle. It actually allows probably Højbjerg and Bentancur to spread even further and allow them to, cover even more range, because they know Basuma is sort of how would you put, like kind of a quarterback of that midfield, where he's able to sort of cover more range, I would imagine, than Højbjerg and Bentancur in there, especially with one of those tackles he made on Onana as well, Dave, who's, I mean, absolutely massive. I mean, he just sent him to the floor, threw him to the sidelines. It was beautiful to see. I think it was a massive impact by Basuma. And I think probably a lot of it came defensively, but a few times I do remember he won the ball and then played some nice, passes forward, especially into Kane, if I recall, for one of them. Liam won. He's won it a few times, if I recall.
Let's see how good he is today. Whoa, it's an essay today. He's on it. He's on it, Jack.
Better be good, Liam. I thought it was a solid, convincing performance, even though it was not a very good first half. I still felt that the team were putting in a shift and creating chances. I agree that the 3-4-3 was the right choice. The second half was completely dominated by Spurs. I think the 3-5-2 was put to good use, and it's great to see Conte show our flexibility. Love how he wrote that.
He's flexing. Conte is flexing.
He's flexing also his, I think, his sentence structure here, Liam. That was beautiful. I think the 3-5-2 may have a solid use case against teams that are sitting back and want us to keep possession. It hasn't been our strongest suit, keeping possession and working the ball around, and having Basuma as an anchor and the extra body means we can keep the ball in possession more seamlessly and win it back easier. And Bentancur and Højbjerg have more freedom to move around without many without having to worry about leaving empty space behind the in the event of a turnover, i.e., it makes our midfield a little more attacking oriented when teams are sitting back. On Basuma, commendable performance, and hopefully he feels the encouragement from the fans. Our performances in the past few games have been quite positive compared to previously, and Kane and Son's overall play has been good, and this has had a big impact on the team, as one would naturally expect. An honorable mention goes to Doherty too. I was pleased with the attacking instinct he showed and his willingness to take the game by the scruff of the neck, drawing fouls, etc. Only hope that Richie's not too badly wounded. Onwards and upwards, though. Absolutely love it, Liam.
Wow.
And I must say, probably my favorite part, I think had to do with also he's saying like maybe the recent performances and how much better they've been looking has to do with Kane and Son starting to, click again. And we even spoke about this, Dave, and part of the reason why maybe Spurs have been given that boring tag by certain people. And I said, I don't think it's really having to do as much with Conte's tactics. I think that boring tag had a lot to do with Sonny and Kane not clicking to the same levels that we know they can. And once they do start clicking in the levels we know they can, once we do start Sonny especially playing at the world-class level that he is capable of, then it doesn't look so boring, I think, on paper. I think that's just kind of a bit of a lazy sort of tag that was given to Spurs. And sometimes you have to look at it. It's like, well, they are missing Kulusevski and they are missing, an informed Son at the moment. They are not going to look as good on paper, but it felt like they would rather just call us boring instead. So that's how I kind of saw it at the time. And I agree with Liam. I agree with you.
The narrative that's put out there is very lazy about being boring. Talk about the impact that Kulu has actually had on the Tottenham team and how much we're really missing him. Highlight how he starts off attacks sometimes, how he offers runs in behind for players on the ball, how he can pick up a ball and run down the line and get us up the field. Talk about that instead of just going Tottenham are boring. When Man City get injuries, Liverpool get injuries, this, that, and the other, very quick to go, they have some injuries there. They're missing some important players. Obviously, it affects the way they play. But when it's Tottenham, it's like, they're just boring. It's like, no, completely forget about Kulu being injured. You know what I mean? It's a joke. It's lazy. It's lazy. In fact, when I see someone do that, even if it's on the Sky Sports or BT Sports, I'm actually going to at them, and I'm going to screenshot where they've talked about injuries for other teams. And I'm going to go, why don't you do that with Tottenham? Is it either you sack the guy that researches Tottenham for you guys, or you're just being lazy? So which one is it, A or B? I want an answer.
Big up, Kev Williams. Hopefully you keep it well, my man. Thanks for tuning in. And Kulusevski, we're going to have to find out, my man. It's just time will tell. Time will tell.
9 games by Conte. He'll be ready.
Pick up, Kev. Welsh Gal, I'd like to see Spurs put together a solid 90 minutes. It seems in the first half of games, it is a bit tentative and a little sluggish with not much created. Second half is much better, more clinical, and things start to gel. Richie was a fish out of water yesterday, and the force change made us look like a totally different team. The pieces are starting to come together. Love, great comment, I think, Welsh Gal. Maybe she might win it today. But Dave, it's weird because I feel like there's sometimes games where we do start off in the first 10 minutes quite well in games. I've seen that happen with us a few times where we start with a lot of energy. We are kind of bullying the team with a bit of high pressure. And it's like either we lose a bit of gas or we lose a bit of energy or we lose a bit of creativity. I don't know what it is, but I've seen us create great chances in the very beginning of games, only not to take them. And then we kind of weirdly do become a bit sluggish towards the end of the first half. And I agree with Welsh Gal.
I think it's tactical, if you want me to be honest. I've taught this for some time. I think before, when Conte first came in, if you remember, the first 10 minutes, we used to be very, very defensive. And that was to draw the teams out, to try and catch them on the counter, to get an early goal, to take the ascendancy in the game. This time round, we're hitting them early to try and get that early goal, to take the ascendancy of the game, so that they then have to come out, and then we can just keep continuing to hit them on the counter, and they fall into a trap. Now, I think after about maybe 10, 15 minutes, I think maybe it's a tactic to sort of drop off. Don't keep them pinned in, because we know in possession, we are sometimes not the best to be able to break down teams, the low block teams, proven as last season. So I think then, therefore, it's a tactic where stop pressing them, sit in, gather your shape, look to get the ball, encourage them to come out and use that space in behind to try and go and get that goal. So, look, I just think everything we do and all the patterns we see, it comes from a winning position from Conte. He's not stupid. He manages games. Look, this guy plays 5D chess. I've told people about this before. For me, I think it's definitely tactical.
Great answer, Dave, or great explanation there.
The
And
90 minutes that Welsh crowd talks about, us being not putting in
uh-huh.
90 minutes yet, I think that's a crucial point, and I do think that's something that maybe we need to look at or talk about or focus on, because we're not going to keep, if we want to stay in this title race, which we're in one, whether Spurs fans like it or not, whether you think ultimately we're going to win it or not. Tonight we sit there 4 points off top in a title race, level points with Man City. We can't keep relying on one half of football. There's going to come a
Mhm.
period where we have to start putting together full 90 minutes, cohesive performances, if we want to stay in this race.
I think we saw that from Liverpool even today. What it took in order to beat Man City was a full 90. It took a full
Mm,
90. I mean, in fact, it took basically 100 minutes of a performance in order to do it. And I think there's something to be said about that, that Spurs do need to put in the complete performances if they are to beat the bigger and better teams. Android 890 says, yes, the frustrating thing is it only came down to the injury, which meant we changed the formation. We have to have this in our all the time, all this about Basuma. We have to have this in our own time, all this about Basuma. Was trying to learn the system. He couldn't learn the system because he wasn't playing in the system, and our wingbacks were useless yesterday. Didn't really work except for Perisic getting some. I thought Perisic actually did have some pretty decent moments, and I thought Perisic was, how would I put it, probably 7 out of 10 when I really look at it. Thought he created something, and also just wasn't really giving the ball away or anything, and also actually had some nice switches of play. Didn't really panic too much in possession. I think in other games he started to get a little bit sloppy in possession, which is very un-Perisic like. But I thought this one he was a lot more composed. But Suma, I'll be honest, like I've agreed with Dave. He was given a great chance against West Ham, albeit like not the easiest of opportunities away from home against West Ham, but he just didn't take it. And then as well in other moments where he was maybe given his cameos, he wasn't like really nearly as impressive as Højbjerg or Bentancur. And still, despite how well Basuma played, I think Højbjerg and Bentancur, their vein of form right now, they're some of the best midfielders in the Premier League right now with how well these two have been playing. And I think that's unfortunate for Basuma that he's basically competing with those two who are just in an absolute fine vein of form right now. And he maybe is going to play well enough that he could actually probably push one of them out. I could see that
mm,
happening, but it's going to need to take consistent high level performances, but certainly that one in the most recent game in that second half. I mean, he
mm.
couldn't have done much better, if I'll be honest, and he couldn't have done much more to make, kind of Conte, raise his eyebrows perhaps
Yeah.
and think about it. Definitely. Big up, Android. Richie, love that name. I feel bad for Richarlison. I don't think we're playing him in his most comfortable position, which is either central or on the left. But if he's willing to keep trying and Conte keeps sticking by him, I believe he'll start playing well on the right. This is exactly what I feel
I
like,
take this comment.
Richie. Yeah, Dave, take it. I need to talk on it too because I've given a lot of
Yeah.
positivity to Richie, and I
Where,
also believe this is his fourth or fifth best position, and I think we kind of forget that.
hear me out, and I'm not having a dig at Richarlison. I'm not shitting on him. But I said the same as Stephen Bergvall. I'm going to be consistent. You can't tell me he thought he was walking into this club to take Sonny's position or Harry Kane's position.
Hmm.
So therefore, he has to accept either he's going to be coming off the bench or he's back up for Kane, or he's going to be used as rotation for Kane to maybe rest him in certain games, or he can try and take Kulu's spot. But I'm not giving him that. I'm not giving him the excuse, or I feel bad from that Kane or Son ahead of him. Didn't have that excuse for Kulu. You come in with the right mind frame and you do the basics, which is control the ball. You've got a good pass. You can hold the ball up. You can fit in with Kane and Son. Kulu done it. There's no excuse for Richarlison not to do it. People say Kulu's favourite position is a number 10. We don't make the excuse for him playing on the right wing, do we? So I'm
No.
not going to give Richarlison the same excuses. He's got to do better. He has to do better. And
If
I
he
know,
wants to play more. Yeah, if he
yeah,
wants to play more and if he wants to get consistent minutes. And that was the case with Bergwijn, as Bergwijn was starting to complain, getting a bit, kind of a pouty on the bench about not being able to play. But like you just said, Dave, the position that was available to him, he just didn't take his chance and simply wasn't good enough in that position. I think Richarlison, though, would do an excellent job if, let's say, worst case scenario, some injury were to happen, maybe to the likes of, especially to Kane, maybe, or if even maybe something happened to Son, he could play in the 3-5-2 and play alongside Kane. And I think he could do exceptional. And I'm going to have patience for him on the right wing. And I understand it's not his best position. And I see your argument, Dave, that believe me, it is very, very
Then
similar to,
do
it's very
then
similar to Bergwijn, if not the same scenario as Bergwijn. I just think I still think he offers more use to us as other positions or anything in case
no,
something
I
were to
agree.
happen and or in case some rotation were to occur. And also the effort he gives us off the bench, no matter what, is going to be more than maybe what Bergwijn probably gave to.
I agree, but even when you're playing out of position, Jack, control
Mm,
what you can control.
yeah,
The heavy touches that he keeps on taking when he does get the
so
breakaways,
true.
the flick around the corners instead of taking a touch and holding up the ball. Even though you're playing out of position, there's still certain things you can do in your control to try and get you into the game, to try and hold up the ball and still have an effect on the game. And he's not doing the things that he can physically control, although playing out of position.
If anything, he should be a bit more boring, Dave, right? Like in sometimes possession, it feels like he's trying to do too much each time. It's either a flick on or it's like you said, going for some ridiculous touch, dribbles into an alleyway, and gets dispossessed. He actually should, if anything, be a bit more kind of casual with it and just perhaps just keep possession, even just play it back to where he got it from and just try to retain possession. Feels like
Look,
also sometimes he needs to. Sometimes I've noticed with Richie Dave is that either he's going to go for a first touch or first time pass to somebody to try to get something going, or he'll have like 6, 7 touches for no reason at all. Like in certain moments, it seems to be one or the other. It's no in between.
but here's the thing, Jack. Look, I have no problem someone trying to show a bit of flair. In fact, I encourage it. I love it. But the world class players pick their moments and because they know it's going to come off. Whereas Richarlison is constantly trying it. After the second or third time, just go back to basics. Get in
Yeah.
front of your man, hold it up, take the ball in, either play it back to Doherty, one of the on-rushing midfielders, or try to put it around the outside of him and beat him on the outside. But go back to basics. Stop persisting with the same team that has let you down game after game after game after game.
Yeah. Well said, Dave. But I'm going to keep the faith, Richie, always keeping the faith in my big Rich. John
I'm
N.
keeping faith. I'm keeping faith. It's just for me, he's just got to do more. Like especially after
If
maybe
he wants the game time at right wing, like you said. Yeah. If he wants.
especially after 2 or 3 games in Kulu's position. Sit there, watch what Kulu does. Okay,
Mm,
I'm playing in Kulu's position. It's not working. In order for me to fit in with Kane and Son, what is Kulu doing? Go watch videos and then try and implement a bit of it.
mm, mm. Big up, Aaron. Appreciate you, my man. John N. Far better in the second half, and the change to the 3-5-2. We seemed too ponderous and slow in the first half. Again, seems to be how we start games, but Conte must have rollicked them at halftime, and second half was more like how we should be playing. 3 more points onwards and upwards, stay positive, and come on, you Spurs. John N. potentially going to win it there. A great summary, and again, one that I would probably give the tagline to. Maybe Sky Sports should maybe take a look at that one. Probably could put it into one of their summaries of the game. Great summary there, John N. Big yourself up, my
Jack,
man.
I was just wondering, by any chance, did you come across any running stats from the first half or the second half?
I
I
didn't, David.
haven't. I just asking. No
Didn't, David.
worries.
And we've been trying to find where we can get those running stats consistently. Maybe Paratici can give us maybe a clue on it, but he's taking a look at it. But yeah, Dave, I actually wish we could have maybe someone in the chat. If you guys knew some website for maybe getting the running stats would be really interesting. Tio Isaac, big yourself up, my man. Really appreciate it. Always in
Just
there.
big up to you. Just quickly, Jack. Jeff wants to hold you accountable. He says, Jack, stop making excuses for Richie. He's not on Decky's level. Richie's position is a left-sided player or a centre forward.
I agree with you, Jeff. I said that's his best position as a left-sided striker or center forward. I'm just trying to make excuses for him because I just don't think the right wing is his best position, and I'm going to give him patience. That's really all it is. I'm just giving him patience, and I'm not going to get on his back too much. I completely see, though, why he's been frustrating, and I completely see why he's just been unimpressive for everybody and like why he probably should be dropped from that position. But I'm not just going to sort of throw Richie under the bus for maybe playing in sort of an area of the field as well as an area in Conte's system that doesn't exactly sort of suit him the best. And I think I understand that maybe he's going to go through a bit of I don't know, how would you say, like an adjustment period for it. But Jeff, I agree with you. I think those are his best positions as a left-sided striker or a center forward, certainly. And he's not going to get that chance, though. Like Dave was saying earlier, Jeff, he's not going to get that chance unless Harry Kane or Sonny get hurt or need to be rotated in some scenario. Big up, Jeff.
No, big up, Jeff. Love people holding us to account to what we say sometimes. Absolutely love it. Big up, Jeff. Big up, Aaron McDonough. Good to see you in. Just totally agrees with the comments on Richie's tricks and flicks.
Mike Spurs, yes, you're right, and that is why, which I disagree with. They didn't play very well, and Tony Cascarino, we were boring. Don't know what game he was watching. I've been kind of seeing that tagline yet again. It just sort of feels like people are wanting to see what they want to see there. Mike, thanks, Dave. Sorry. Yeah, I think people just want to see what they want to see there, Mike. I don't really know why that is. It seems like just Sky Sports, they just don't like seeing a nice, neat 2-0 performance. It just doesn't really suit them. And it feels like they just have to come up with something mean to say instead of just giving Spurs just a nice, simple compliment, move on with it, move on to the next day. But nope, they had to speak about something else. Pick up.
It's calculated. Ask yourself, why do all of the media companies follow the same script? Why can't one of them just sit there and go, hang on, actually, Spurs are just bubbling on the radar. No one's actually talking about them, but they're controlling games. They're getting over the line in games. They're winning games. Why are they all coming out with the same team? Because I told people before, they don't want to advertise Tottenham being at the top of the Premier League because it doesn't suit the brand the Premier League are trying to put out there. It's man-made. It's man-made. Yeah. Sick of saying it. Look, I'll be proven right by the end of the season. When I say these things, people go, oh, Dave, you're crazy. And then at the end of the season, I sit there with my arms folded. What did I tell you? Everything else is on flames around me. I'm just standing there. I tried to tell you.
Absolutely love it. Dark Sun G, big up Dark Sun G. Thanks for tuning in, my man. Vargooners, lucky to win. Liverpool win. Man United draw. Good. I think that Man United draw was actually great for us, obviously. I like to see Man United not really catch up in any way, shape, or form. Liverpool getting the win. I kind of wanted it just to be a draw at the end of the day, Dark Sun G, because now we are seeing the Gooners get a bit ahead. And after getting all of those decisions for them and actually somehow getting away with all 3 points at Ellen Road, I feel like they're just going to get so overly confident after that one, just so obnoxiously overconfident, the players. I mean, Ben White's probably going to get a new fake tan. You're going to see even more, earrings coming out from, his left ear. They're probably just going to be drooping all the way down to his shoulder. But Dark Sunji, I don't know. I just think they're just going to be becoming a bit obnoxious, like the Gooners, especially the players are getting really obnoxious. Almost all of them. I kind of despise all of them, but really, I mean, they kind of we used to even talk about Dark Sunji. How is this Gooner team actually likable, and are they too likable? Got to admit, with how they're getting all these VAR decisions, I think they're making it very quick to become very unlikable, is what I would say. Pick yourself up, my man.
Dark Sunji, remember I said to you last week, Arsenal, VAR conspiracy, they help make the title race stories. They've done it with Liverpool at the time. Liverpool were getting decisions. You're looking at other games on the same day, and you're like, pretty sure that was given at Anfield earlier today. I mean, what's the excuse for this one? It happened every weekend nearly, and unfortunately, you see the same happen with Arsenal now, Dark Sunji. And VAR are going to consistently keep doing it, literally, because by the time that City Arsenal claim comes around, you watch, it's going to be like master versus pupil, or teacher versus student, master versus, it's going to be pass me the puke bucket. And then, you're going to see them walk out the touchline, fondle each other, give each other a cuddle. It's going to be so embarrassing. But that's the narrative they want because it's going to be good for the Premier League. Honestly, it's a puke fest. And that's why I hope we spoil the party, Dark Sunji. I actually enjoy being the party pooper, so I'd have no problem rating on the parade. So let's do it so I can enjoy it.
Luis, pick yourself up. Let the Gooners get overconfident. We'll make their inevitable crash even sweeter, all the sweeter. Big up, Luis. Absolute legend. Everybody, feel free to grab that channel membership. I did just put in the chat there. Fan show tomorrow. I think probably maybe a bit earlier, but I don't know if there's any good games happening tomorrow. So I think it's just going to be probably an 8 p.m. fan show, but it will be led by myself for that one. And then also, I think it's going to be, what did we play? Man United Wednesday, Dave?
Wednesday.
Yeah, so Man United Wednesday. So everybody, do grab that channel membership. Do grab that fan show membership if you do want to come on to the fan show tomorrow. We'll be doing it around 8 p.m.
No games tomorrow. So it'll be an 8 p.m. start. Nice early start. So you guys come on, have your say ahead of the United game. But also, a few people took up the opportunity yesterday as the post-match fan show. It's a new show we're doing after every game. So, guys, feel free, to come on the post-match fan show and have your say after the game. Usually it'd be about an hour or so after the game. Come on and have your say. So make sure you avail of it. We're trying to up the fan shows because we want to bring the fans along with us and get everybody to try and have a say on what's going on, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. Big up, Dave. Absolutely right. Dark Sun G saying, how did Saliba and Gabrielle not get a red card? The one part I didn't understand, Dark Sun G, when it came to Gabrielle's was simply like, if they wanted to say that, I think actually Gabrielle initiated the contact. I really don't think it was Bamford. I think Gabrielle just kind of leaned into him and then just all of a sudden went flailing to the ground. But in true Gabrielle fashion, then kind of like the absolute, I don't know, I want to call him something worse, but I won't call him anything. But kind of like the horrible guy that he is, Dave. He kicks up after initiating the contact. Then he kicks up with the spikes up at Bamford. And what I don't really get is even if they're going to take away the pen, Dark Sun G, even if they're going to take away the pen, it's still violent conduct from Gabrielle. So you still sent him off, even if you don't think it's a penalty. It's actually funny because it's sort of like the Romero situation with Cucurella, I would say. It's similar to the Cucurella situation, but I don't know. I just don't even get how yeah.
Remember, Sonny was on the ground on his back and he kicked up with his studs. I think it was either Hazard or Fabregas's stomach. And they gave a free kick and sent Son off. So if that's the standard they set a few years ago, then Gabriel should have been sent off and it should have been a penalty.
Yeah.
It's the standard the Premier League set. I'm not making up my own standards. I just go by the standards they apply to Tottenham. And if that's applied to Tottenham 4 years ago, well then with the how soft the game's got gradually since, then it should be a red and probably 2 months suspension.
Mm-hmm. And then is it Saliba should have gotten a red card because he got away with a handball or something like that at one stage, I believe, in the box? Or
just like they got away with a handball against Liverpool the week before. It's amazing.
He did have a handball at one stage and got it by. Actually, it was Rudiger. Dark Sun G says, yeah, I was going to say, Dave, I thought it was Rudiger. But Dark Sun G, how did Saliba get that red card? Or why did he need to get the red card, maybe should I say? I know he conceded one as a penalty to Bamford, but I kind of forget what else they did. Just honestly, it was just chaos all around from the referee and from the VAR. I'm more also just disappointed in Leeds. I mean, they just couldn't finish. Like, as much as we want to say that VAR should have helped them and helped them get the win, like they had so many chances in front of goal. Like they didn't even need VAR to win. It probably could have been a 5-0 win, really, without the VAR, if you ask me. Just so many chances they absolutely squandered. And then he says that handball was a cancel of a goal-scoring opportunity, in my opinion. Oh, that's a good point there, Dark Sundry. I hadn't even thought about that. And to be fair, it probably was a Gooner commentary because they didn't even bring that up, Dark Sundry, of course, because it's probably a Gooner on the commentary. Big up, my man.
Let me know as well if you agree with what I'm saying about Arsenal and them trying to manufacture the master versus student title race. Let me know, Dark Sundry. Figure that out, brother.
Absolutely. But that'll be all, everybody, for today's show. We're going to end it off there. We'll be back for the fan show tomorrow. We'll have Phillips morning Tottenham Daily coming. We'll also, I believe, have the podcast, coming soon. So stay tuned for plenty of content coming up this week. Another big week. I mean, an absolutely massive week. This one was so much content that came out, so many different shows that we put out there for you guys. So hopefully you did enjoy it. I'm looking forward to another big hectic week, especially with Man United coming this Wednesday. But everybody, that'll be all for now. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Hit that like button on your way out. But we will be seeing you. Come on, you Spurs. In Conte we trust.
In Conte we trust.
Everywhere we go.